I'm double fisting the caffeine today, just so everyone knows, because we have a lot to talk about.
I'm single fisting the water. I'm still trying to pound the water, but I am totally flexing that I host a Netflix podcast when I do it.
Yeah, you
I
are.
just put this message up. I just want to say before we say anything else, happy birthday to
I
Denise
love it. We've had
Williams.
so many birthdays lately. I'm Mel Barrett.
I'm Rebecca Lavoie.
And welcome to Something's Off, a true crime podcast where we constantly ask ourselves what the actual frick-frack is going on. See what I did there? I didn't drop an F-bomb, Rebecca. And Rebecca Lavoie is back with me.
Finally.
I've seen you in person in the past week,
Didn't
but
go
I've really
well.
missed you.
Yeah, it didn't go well.
It was a little messy, but we got to hang out for a minute in your hotel while
for literally a minute. Yeah, I was so sick. And I just want to apologize to everybody. I know I am spending tomorrow, like I have on my calendar like a 6-hour stretch to pack and mail stickers because I've been so behind because I've been so sick. So stop complaining, please, on our socials about stickers. It's me. And I almost died. Not really. I was very sick. As Mel saw both on the stream and then later in person. I got sicker when I went to DC. Yeah. I slept for 14 hours when I got home and then woke up for an hour, went to sleep for 4 more hours.
Yeah.
And yesterday was the first day I started feeling better, like a week and a half. So I will be sending your stickers. I promise.
Yeah. And just make sure just to be okay. So the only other thing I want to add to that is everyone is messaging me on several platforms. So like Facebook, Twitter, my personal Facebook, Instagram about the stickers. So if you all could just do me a kindness and go into the spreadsheet that Rebecca has put together for us all and just say, hey, I didn't get my stickers in the notes.
It's a form. Just fill out the form and put that in the notes. Yes.
Yeah. And then we'll know for sure all in one place who has what they need and who needs something.
People are acting like this is a fundraiser that we stole from. It's not. They're stickers that we're giving you on my dime. It's fine. I will send them. I swear.
Rebecca did pay for all of that stuff, and I'm very appreciative of that. And this is why we need tips. All right. So the housekeeping section, don't complain about that either, because you know what? We spent about 4 minutes on it, and then the rest of it is true crime content.
I don't care, but people can complain if they want.
We've actually had a lot of complaints this week. I had a complaint this week. This was when I did my solo episode, that the people who are listening to it on just podcast form. So like, I put it on my Patreon, you put it on your Patreon. I also put it on my general feed. Right. And they're like, I have no idea what's going on. Like, I don't know what's happening in the episode. You're talking about this video that was released, but you never tell us about. And I'm like, I spent a good 15 minutes in the middle of my broadcast playing the video I was talking about. So either you didn't wait to hear that, or I just don't know. I don't know how to fix that problem.
Well, there's a signposting thing. Kevin actually gives me this feedback all the time. That we need to do a better job signposting, which is why sometimes I jump in and I'm like, it means orienting people. So you say, Kelly Dever, remember, this is the cop it was a Boston cop that testified in the second trial. That the more signposting is better. People don't mind signposting at all. No one ever gets annoyed when you signpost. They just get annoyed when you don't. He's not wrong.
Yeah.
So I try to do that more. And I try to recommend that people who are making podcasts as well. I think the best signposting I've ever heard in my life was an In the Dark. The In the Dark team does. And everyone knows the prosecutor in the Curtis Flowers case is named Doug Evans because they reminded us 10 million times that that's his name and that's who he is. And it's not annoying. It's clarity. So anyway, it's all clarity. Anyway, here are the stickers that you will get. Either a dance sticker, an I Love Straight Bear sticker. And in February, of course, I'm sending out until they're gone, maybe till March too. The 2 Brian Higgins, the Judge Canoni inspired sticker, I'll allow it. And the Brian Higgins inspired sticker that I will let Mel read.
Oh,
Mel.
Sorry. I was reading a comment. You're hot.
You're hot.
Somebody liked the episode of These Are Their Stories, even though I really thought you guys were going to get a lot of pushback because I didn't know anything about.
We have people on all the time who've never watched the show.
Order.
People are used to that. Yeah. So These Are Their Stories, by the way, Signposting is a podcast I do with my husband. My husband actually does the whole thing about law and order, SVU, and criminal intent. And we talk about an episode for half an hour. We shit on it. And then we talk about the real life case that inspired the episode. It's very fun.
It was fun. It was fun. And I actually, for the first 15, 20 minutes of the episode, I was like, I can't watch this whole thing. And then I kind of got into it. So I might go back and watch some more, but
you should.
Yeah. The only other thing, let's see. The only other thing I wanted to talk about was come visit us in the Facebook group. Um, and it's a private group and we have really good debates there. We have really good conversation there. So please come over there and see us. Also, we are about, I don't know if you know this, Rebecca, we are 20 subs away from 4,000. I know, right? So if you're in the chat right now, please go like the video, share it, comment, tell your friends about it. And hopefully we're going to hit 20 in the next day or so. That would be amazing.
Incredible.
And then the only other thing, I keep saying that, the only other thing I want to say, I launched my new show the other night. I think it was Tuesday night, News Light with Mel Barrett. I had Ellen Marie Marsh and Maggie Freeling and Thomas the Union Plumber on. And we had a great show. It was a good 2-hour long episode of just like talking about what's going on in the world. And I prefaced it by saying, my first show is mostly people who are probably on the same side as me. And in the future, I want to bring on other diverse voices as well as like people who don't agree with me. But what we actually found was that Ellen and I were more on the same page and Thomas and
Yeah.
Maggie. And it was so interesting because I didn't realize that going into it, that Ellen and I are of a certain age and they're a little bit younger than us. And we have very much a fear-based, we're fear-based politics.
Yeah.
They're like, burn the whole thing down.
Yeah.
And so scary to me as like a Gen Xer, but I don't know.
My son's a Marxist. Like I super admire it. I'm like, I love the purity. I really do.
I love it. Yeah. So if you guys wouldn't mind, please go subscribe to Newslight with Mel Barrett. It's News Light with Mel Barrett. I've got almost like 350 subscribers already.
Congratulations.
It's so cute. So anyway, that's all I have for housekeeping. Do you have anything you want to add?
I have one thing. I do host a Netflix podcast called You Can't Make This Up. We produce it with Netflix. And this week, if you've watched the Tyra Banks America's Next Top Model documentary, we're putting out 2 episodes on it. I interviewed both the 2 directors of the doc, and I interviewed Jay Manuel and Nigel Barker. And it was a barn burner of an interview. Oof. One of my favorite interviews I've ever done. Jay Manuel said things on the show that he's never said in interviews before. Notably, my favorite nugget is that the famous episode where she tells Tiffany, we were all rooting for you, that super abusive rant. That, by the way, happened after a really humiliating test that they had the girls doing of trying to read this stuff. And it's unclear what everyone's levels of literacy are. And like that should not be a test that's done as part of a reality show. Anyway, that they say in the documentary that she said far, far worse things that didn't make the edit. God. But Jay told me that all of the raw tapes from that day have gone missing.
Oh, of course they have. That's happening a lot.
Yeah.
One other thing, I just realized I have one other thing to say. If you guys do send us tips, now that I have a separate show, I only have that one Venmo. So if you wouldn't mind in the description on the tips, if you could just put something's off or SO or Newslight, that would really help me. I've set up 2 different Cash apps, but I just want to make sure I keep the 2 separate because, I got to pay people like Rebecca. And,
I got to buy those stickers somehow.
I know she got to buy those stickers. But speaking of missing tapes and missing files and things like that, the Andrew, formerly known as Prince, has been arrested.
I know.
What do we think?
I think it's great. I mean, I think it's notable, of course, that he was arrested for sharing state secrets potentially with Epstein. But I just think that's the easiest, most. Sometimes there's like a good, like solid paperwork foundation where you can just arrest somebody and then bring their charges later. I would be surprised if other charges weren't brought against him. I've been, as much as I hate the royal family, and I do, I have been very impressed with their public handling of this. I was impressed when they stripped him of his title. I just feel like for all, I mean, they're responsible for centuries of bullshit and evil stuff, and they're racist and they are just awful, entitled. The whole institution sucks. But for what they are, and I understand they are important to a lot of people, this is a tough nut to crack. And I think 20, 30 years ago, they would have ignored it, pretended it wasn't happening. And I just think the way they're handling it is, I know they did, but I think that the way they're handling it today is appropriate and is a good thing for Americans to see happening because he the fucking son of a queen and the brother of a king, and even he is not above the fucking law.
The swear jar is out. Yeah, and also the king, his brother, like read him for filth in a public statement where he put his full name in that thing. Even the people
Andrew
who
Windsor
arrested,
Mountbatten.
yeah, whatever. But even when their arrest report came out, they said a 60 some odd year old man. Plus, it's Andrew's birthday
Oh,
today.
I know. Happy
Got arrested.
birthday,
Happy
motherfucker.
birthday, motherfucker.
Speaking of swearing, can I just tell you a quick anecdote?
Yeah.
So the reason I was in DC this weekend and the reason why we said it went disastrously was because on Sunday night I was meeting Mel and my sister Jennifer for a dinner that I planned and was going to pay for at a fancy restaurant in DC. And I got there and I was so sick that I had to leave.
Like
And
you weren't there when I got there.
right, I was in the bathroom being sick. And then I
Yeah.
came back and I was so sick I had to leave. And the whole thing, and I handed my sister I handed her $40. I'm like, get whatever you want. $40. This place where entrees were like $100. Anyway,
Yep.
so we and Mel and I ended up going back to the hotel. But the reason I was in DC was because I was there to speak to a bunch of judges, federal judges and state Supreme Court judges. At Duke Law School invited me to this conference they were doing about how the judiciary can do a better job talking to people through social media and new media and stuff. And the guy, I was on a panel with a conservative lawyer who's really popular on Twitter, is working at a bunch of think tanks, me, and a guy who owns a media company that makes really cool, subversive, entertaining media about civics. And they invited me because I oversee Civics 101 and because of the stuff I do about criminal justice online like this and my podcasts. So the first thing when the guy from the Pritzker, we were being interviewed by this guy who's a lawyer for the Pritzker Institute Law School, the Pritzker Institute, super fucking fancy. These are all fancy people. I'm in a room with judge, like the woman sitting next to me was a federal judge who was flying home that night to oversee a criminal case the next day. Like, it's like, these are fancy people, state Supreme Court judges and federal judges. So the guy, I had been told before this event, judges are conservative. We're going to say business casual, but that actually means dress up. Like that's it. I'm like, I know, I've done stuff with judges before. And then above all, like, we don't swear. We're not profane. I'm like, I know. The first thing the guy from the Pritzker Institute says in my interview, he goes, Rebecca, I watched your YouTube show. And I was like,
oh shit,
I'm sorry. I mean, because it's like, that's the one thing we've been told is that we're not supposed to swear. And I'm like, the first thing he references is the thing that I swear on the most. So sorry, Jason. I apologize for making you watch this.
But thanks for watching, buddy.
Totally appreciate it. Totally appreciate it. You feel bad for Andrew's kids, says Note 47. I don't. I don't.
47.
They're fine. Yeah. They're fine. They are living in the Kensington. They're living in the little Kensington Palace thing in that park. They're fine. They live in like apartment 4. They're fine. They're completely fine.
Ugh. Who had children with him? Eesh.
Sarah Ferguson. Fergie. Who's also, by the way, implicated in all sorts of shit.
Yep. Which sucks because I remember I went through this phase where I was like, Fergie's the coolest royal, and I loved her for a time, and now she's just like, she's a fucking mess again. I don't understand what I mean. It's getting to the point where I've come to realize that basically we've all been like puppets, marionette strings of like 8 of the most powerful men in the world, and who.
Mel, I was with my book club last night, which is like 7 of my best friends and me. And we were talking about this. And we were just saying, imagine a world in which the 8 of us are the richest people in the world, right?
Yes.
Would we or would we not have an island full of 12 and 13-year-old boys that we like to rape and kill? Like that would never even fucking occur to a woman. Like would not occur to a woman who had that much power. It'd be like, we'd be like saving all the dogs and like building all the libraries and like, we would not be thinking like, what is the dirtiest sex and like, most illegal shit we could possibly do?
I can't get excited anymore over my own wealth. So I have to figure out some way to like make it just like salacious, and they're bored. They're fucking bored.
They're all nerds. They were nerds in high school who got thrown into lockers. They have all the power now, and they're fucking bored. That's
don't get me started on the Palantir.
Oh yeah,
the guy. So anyway.
Did you see that guy's press conference? That guy's meeting where he looked like he rolled out of bed.
A woman would never get away with
People
what
used
that
to
guy
complain about Elizabeth Holmes' fuzzy hair.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, fucking Epstein. But yeah, I basically I'm like, oh, we've all been ruled for the past like 30 plus years by this group of elite men, like 8 elite men who get their rocks off on sexually assaulting and
Children.
raping children. And
Yeah.
uh I can't, like, I'm losing sleep over it. I'm just like I
A
don't even know
craft
what to
store.
do. Yeah. Oh,
Yes,
and
we
then
would have an island
also
with a craft store and all the dogs and margaritas and books. Yes, 100%.
have we all noticed the air traffic and tank traffic maps that have been coming out all over like Twitter and social media showing all of the planes and tanks moving toward the Middle East because in basically to not have to deal with the Epstein files, we're about to bomb Iran this weekend.
Seems productive. Anyway.
Okay. Let's talk about true crime.
True crime.
True crime.
True crime. So I will be
Okay.
sending your stickers, in other words. I will be sending them. I'm mailing them tomorrow.
Basically, we'll be sending out stickers. We have a lot of Karen Reed stuff to talk about.
Hell yeah, we do.
There's so much that came out. But before we get into the Karen Reed stuff, wait, did I have something else that was Karen Reed? Oh yeah, let's start off with, this is still Karen Reed adjacent, but let's talk about the Scapiccio Miles King of it all, because I feel like it's all about Proctor, right?
Yeah. You're frozen for me, Mel. Am I frozen?
Nope.
Oh, okay, you were
Nope.
frozen there for a minute for
We're
me.
good.
It's just
I'm
for me.
good.
I have weird internet stuff. Just ignore me. Go ahead. The Scapiccio stuff. The Miles King, the Proctor emails. Proctor phone stuff.
So for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, Scapiccio is Rosemary Scapiccio is a badass defense attorney, criminal defense attorney in Massachusetts. She is representing Miles King, who I believe is this his appeal or is he on trial for murder?
He's on trial for murder, and Mel, you are still frozen for people. It's in the comments. It's not me for a change.
I'm not frozen on
You're back
my
now.
side.
You're back now. You're back now. You are intermittently freezing.
That's weird.
Right.
Maybe it's the psyops. Maybe they don't want
You're doing it again right now. Make sure, by the way, when Mel is freezing, to say in the comments she's frozen every single time, because it's so helpful.
Maybe I have it on like a really high speed definition here. No, I'm at 1080.
Yeah. Anyway, so Rosemary Scapiccio is defending
720.
Miles King, who I believe has been in jail forever and is waiting trial. I believe that's the situation that he's in. And he was investigated by, guess who? Our favorite Karen Reed lead investigator, Michael
Proctor. You said Proctor. Does he live in Concord?
In Concord. And Proctor Rosemary Scapiccio has in her possession the entire download from Proctor's phone that the Commonwealth did, the Norfolk County DA's office did, and she has it. And Karen Reed's team wants it for their civil cases.
Of course they do.
Of course they do. And so Proctor has filed an opposition to Scapiccio sharing this with the Reed team. And in his opposition, he stated a couple of very interesting things. One of which was, sure, there's homophobic and racist stuff in there, but Karen's white and straight, so that doesn't apply.
And Brian Walsh was white and straight, so it didn't apply.
Right. And the other thing that was in there was, what was the other thing that was in there that was so juicy? It was so juicy. Oh, fuck. I'll have to remember. Oh, it was about the nudies.
About the nudes. He shared them with his boys, and we don't know who they are, but it's several different women from what we're hearing. And that's, so it takes me back to his testimony about, I would never share nudes. I was never looking for nudes. And it's like, bullshit, dude. Yes, you are. I mean, how many times did the guy perjure himself at this point? It's just, it's so fucking ridiculous. So many. So basically, I'm going to read this note that came from, here's my source, WCVB. Earlier court filings describe investigators, prosecutors finding highly sensitive material on Proctor's phone, including intimate images not meant for broad dissemination, fueling protective order disputes and defense requests.
When you talk like that and you're frozen, it's so sexy, just so you know.
Oh, God. What am I doing? Is it like my mouth is like half open?
Yeah, and then you're reading the thing and you're just like, it's great.
Weird.
Every time you freeze, I'm going to move a lot so people know it's not me.
I don't know why I'm freezing. I'm
I don't know
sorry
either.
if
It's
I
okay.
am, because
It's
I'm
okay.
not freezing on my end,
It's
but,
probably StreamYard. StreamYard, man. It happens. Yes, he is a lying asshat whose head is shaped like a thumb. Yes, we are gonna talk about the existence of Brother Counselor's interview with that doofus, Mike, whatever his name is.
big law Mike. That was a waste of time, but, we'll talk about it in just a moment. Okay, so that's what's happening. So basically, we are still waiting to find out what's on Michael Proctor's phone. I don't know how much longer we're gonna be waiting. I don't know if we'll ever see it, but the idea that in open court, they are talking about the fact that he disseminated pictures of women, more than likely, maybe men, who knows, and that he is admitting to the fact that he's homophobic and racist. It's like, what are we doing here, you guys? Like,
Mm,
what the fuck are we doing here? How how was that guy allowed for so long?
mm.
Because he had that power structure again. Here we are with the power structure of men and them, it's interesting because when I was talking to Thomas on the Newslight show the other night, and one of the reasons why I love talking to Thomas, just so you guys know, Thomas is Ellen Marsh's partner, and Thomas is a union plumber. I say that as a joke, but he's very proud of it, as he should be.
He's hot.
But
He's a hot union plumber.
he's pretty great. I don't know if he's hot because I think he's like a younger brother to me. He's like very cute. He's not hot.
Well, then why do you sexualize my husband so much?
I don't sexualize him. I can't help that I saw a picture of the outline of his dick and that it's gigantic. I mean, I also know about Thomas's dick because all of my straight girlfriends like to share pictures and
I don't
stuff with me about their big dick men.
I
So
did
I
not
know.
share a photo of Kevin's dick with you. I just wanted to see how cute
I
he was
said
in his tiny bathing suit.
but you can't focus on anything else but that in the picture. So, anyway, so I was speaking with Thomas, and what Thomas is surrounded every day by basically straight white MAGA men and like occasionally a black dude and occasionally a woman on his work sites. And he literally will tell me that he walks into a room and hears them telling a rape joke, or he hears them telling a black joke, or he hears them using the N word. And Thomas is very political, and he is very righteous, and he will always say something to them, right? But that is not the majority of men in those situations. The
Mm,
majority of men are like, did everybody see the frat video?
mm-mm.
Did you hear, Rebecca, about, so there was a fire alarm pulled at this frat house, and when the cops came to check it out, they went into the basement, they opened a door, and in complete darkness there were like 20 or 30 frat pledges standing in there in their underwear with blindfolds on, covered in like food and all kinds of whatever. Everybody has to go watch this video because what happens is there were 2 or 3 other brothers there who are not getting hazed,
Yeah.
and the cops are asking them direct questions like, "Get these guys out of here, take the blindfolds off them," and none of the men in the room will move. All the boys who are blindfolded stand there. They won't listen to the cops, they only listen to their brothers, and the brothers are like, "Oh, we don't know how they got there. That's so crazy. What are you guys doing? That's so crazy."
It's
And then
gaslight culture, like, it being
and the
born.
the cops are like, "Okay, who is the leader of this house? Get them on the phone." And they're like, "Oh, we don't have his number." But the audacity of these like frat-tastic white boys, it is such a precursor to how they're going to live their lives. And I feel like that is what we are dealing with in all of these, like in law enforcement, in the billionaire class, in our government. We've got a bunch of white boys who are so used to looking at authority, like cops, in the face and going, "Oh, dude, I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, you can't do anything to me. You can't
I
do
think
anything to me."
I think the rise of nerd culture is the worst thing that's ever happened to this country because I think it's worse. I'm telling you, all these billionaires, do you ever see pictures of fucking Zuckerberg and Bezos and Epstein
Oh
and
yeah. Oh yeah.
they were all so ugly. They were these
Yeah.
ugly little scrawny dudes who were like probably mercilessly bullied. By the way, I don't think the rise of I mean, I think it's great that everybody can be a geek now. That's not what I mean. But it's like when they have power, they're 10 times worse than the traditionally athletic buff jockaroonie. It's like 10 times
Yeah.
worse because they're like also taking revenge on all of the traditional buff old jockaroonies that beat them up in addition to showing their supremacy. But yeah, the frat thing is wild. I have to watch
Let
that
me
one.
I want to play it. It's only like a minute
I'm
long.
moving because there you go. Sam. Every time you see me
Sorry.
doing this, just know that it's because I want to make sure that people know that we're not both frozen.
Okay, I just want to share this video with you guys because I was blown away when I saw it. The audacity just kills me. But here we go. Hold on. All right.
Yeah, what happened?
I'm not entirely sure.
Okay. Gotcha. I think they might still have a chat with you.
Okay. Yeah, we're all good. Definitely. I mean, there's probably somebody going to hate that. That's what I want to do most.
Hold on, let me fast forward a little bit. All right.
Oh my God, it's like Blair Witch.
This stops here,
Look at
guys. This is a police department. This stops here.
Look at
who's in charge.
They're upstairs.
the cops are like, oh, for fuck's sake.
How about we start cleaning this up. Everyone take their blindfolds off.
Oh my God.
They won't move.
Like a name, man.
Imagine if they were young black men, what would be happening right now?
No,
I know, right?
I mean, just one.
Okay, wait.
Dangerous
I want you to
fire.
hear what the other kids say, though. Watch this.
This is wild. This is very Blair Witch.
Yeah, I don't.
I've already given multiple commands to clear the room and get out of here, but no one's
Look,
moving.
he's drinking a beer.
Oh my God.
Apparently they're taking this pretty serious.
Yeah, I guess.
You in charge?
You said
Still haven't found out who's in charge?
Mel would ask our house dad.
Where's he at?
Summit.
Working on something.
Summit. That's cool.
The house
So,
dad.
So,
You have
Obviously.
something else coming here?
yeah, the lieutenant's coming.
Okay, cool. Yeah. I'll hang by until.
Yeah, appreciate it.
This is unbelievable.
Just watch.
That looks like Colin Albert, that dude.
Yeah.
Definitely figure out why you wouldn't let me pass you initially.
Questionable.
Yeah.
They don't care. They have no fear.
The disrespect.
I was at the wrong address.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I heard you go out and then-
Pass. I was like,
They have
so
no
it's-
fear.
I didn't see anything. So
Yeah.
Why would they have fear?
Vaping. He's vaping. He's drinking a beer.
The fact that that kid
Like,
is
he's
drinking a
standing in-
beer right now is blowing
He's
my
standing in
mind.
front of the door where the
I would
pledges
probably
are.
be calling your house dad or whoever to get him here.
Call the
Since ultimately-
dean.
Wish I could.
He's probably in charge, right? Unless someone else is in charge.
I don't have his numbers.
I don't have his number.
Call the dean. Call campus police right now.
Do you guys know how the fire alarm got set off? Or you just run? It's manual.
The kid's voice, too. What the hell?
This one, the hallway here. How
Okay.
that's set off, I'm not sure.
You get the idea.
Oh my God. That is
I mean, the audacity is what blows my mind. It's
that's
like,
unbelievable. Those are our future leaders.
yes, that's what I'm saying. Like, but this is the culture. Like I don't want to categorize it as all white men, but for the most part, they're all white dudes, and they have literally no fear of the cops, no fear of authority. They don't feel like they have to tell them anything. They're drinking beer, they're vaping, and the other thing is the cops aren't doing anything about it because they also know that they don't have any power over these kids.
Well, also the cops are probably maybe internally some of them are like, well, boys will be boys. You know how that fucking goes. That's unbelievable. That is unbelievable. I'm so glad that you showed that to me.
I feel like
all day. Thanks a lot.
You what?
That's going to stay with me all day now. Thanks so much.
It's a very long video. It's their dash cam. It's their body cam. But the reason I'm showing that and the reason we're talking about it is because that's the culture that Michael Proctor and the Massachusetts State Police. Oh, we didn't even put this on the list, but this whole the drunk driving crash with the Massachusetts State Police. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Where the Massachusetts State Police hid his toxicology report from the victim. Like they are so corrupt in Massachusetts. Massachusetts State Police is so fucking corrupt, in my opinion. I cannot believe that we're doing this again.
Yeah.
Like,
Diane, we're not
they're-
talking about politics, by the way, when we're just making observations about people not respecting cops and them all being white. That's not political, or at least it shouldn't be.
I'm also wondering, like, Diane, if you think our politics are absurd, like, why are you here?
Why are you here? Diane, maybe this channel is not for you. We love you, man. We love you, Diane, but you can move along. It's fine.
So, but that's the thing. It's this culture that Michael Proctor, I mean, the way you can tell by the way that he talks to his high school buddies in text that they've been doing this since they were in high school. This is how certain men in our society act when they are in a group of other men, and they've been able to get away with it for so long because there aren't enough men like Thomas who are willing to call them out on their bullshit. And so the circles just keep it like it's circular. They just keep it going. The next group comes in, they get hazed, they haze the next group. And by haze, I'm using that like euphemistically, because what I mean by hazing is it's sort of like what DeChico was doing in the text messages with Michael Proctor about the medical examiner. Like, dude, you couldn't even handle that. We should have gone in. We would have gotten her to say that it was, homicide.
Yeah.
You couldn't even handle it. That's hazing as well. That's bullying. That's like being like, man up, and all that shit. So it's like, of course, Michael Proctor is homophobic. Of course he is racist. And of course he has shared images of more than likely women who are not wearing clothes with his buddies.
Yeah.
Do you have any thoughts, any further thoughts?
No, I think that's exactly right. And I think that one of the interesting things that's come out in the last couple of years is just a sort of a broader pushback on the idea of toxic masculinity. I mean, I think we were all talking about it really openly for a long time, and some of the best men in my life were talking about it and trying to think about how it's influenced them. Yeah. And now it's like, oh my God, my wonderful stepdaughter, who is like on the apps, she's dating and stuff. And she was telling, she has her mom's sister and her family they're just a little more, shall we say, traditional. I'm just going to use that word instead of political. She was telling them this like really funny story about something that happened with a date on the app. And she's just met like a ton of guys who are just like, that she has not gone on second dates with, because she has basic straight standards. She's got like straight up standards. Like, if you're rude, if you only talk about yourself, if you seem creepy, like, I won't go out with you again.
Right.
Her aunt was there with her two male cousins, and her aunt said, we have to remember, as a society, we've really let down our boys.
Oh yeah.
We've really, in lifting up our girls, we've really let down our boys. We've lifted them up at the expense of our boys. Now, and I'm like, now it's a male loneliness epidemic. And yet, you know why there's a male loneliness epidemic? My husband and I talk about this all the time. Because men have always depended on women to make their friends for them. That is why. I do not know. I know I have like we have a couple friends. We have like 10 couples, 12 couples. We're all friends. We've been friends forever. Mm-hmm. There are 2 men in this group of 12 that are proactive about doing anything. The rest of us, it's like our husband's social lives are entirely dictated by what we do. And it's not because we care more or because we have more power. It's because they have abdicated the social responsibility of maintaining relationships their whole life. And so, yes, I know there is a male loneliness epidemic, but the epidemic, I think some of it is a little bit self-inflicted, in my opinion, because men have not been socialized by their fathers and their mothers and their daughters and their sons, because women also perpetuate the cycle of, what do they call it? Weaponized incompetence. Oh, you're not good at making friends. I'll do it for you. I see these fucking boy moms on the internet talking about their sons as if they're the loves of their life.
I know, it's right. That
like
is so creepy to
protecting
me.
them from girls, protecting them from the world. I'm just going to be so heartbroken when the love of my life, my sweet son, goes away.
No.
What are you making? What are you fucking making when you say shit like that? Think about what you are making. I have 2 sons. It's completely fine to love your sons. It's completely fine to want the best for them. It's also completely fine to say they are also human beings who should have their own sense of moral compass and responsibility. And if one of them fucks up, I am very happy to turn to them and be like, you fucked up, man. You fucked it up. Yep. So I do have, you met one of them. He's really fucking cool. But I just can't. And I am, it's like our friend, Maggie, who was on your show, she's just like,
Mhm.
I'm full on Miss Andry now. She's like, I'm full on. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
I just want to kill you all and live on an island with only women. I'm not there. I'm not
Yeah.
there. But I am saying we are not doing anything at the expense of men. Men are still winning and always have won. They always have, and they always will. I mean, it's like
Ooh.
if women were billionaires, we would not have an island on which we were raping boys. That is just
Mm.
not a thing that would even
And girls.
occur to us.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
it would occur to one of 10,000 of us, but it would not
Right.
occur to the entire club of us. So
Yep.
anyway,
Yeah, and it's like the Nate is saying there's a Discovery show called I'm in Love with a Mama's Boy. Have you ever seen it? I've never seen it, but that sounds I don't think I could even watch it. It sounds so
I love a
cringy.
mama's boy. I don't love a boy mom.
Yeah.
I don't mind a mama's boy at all. Like I don't mind a mama's boy. My sons are mama's boys. I love, like, I watched not selling Sunset, selling the OC, and there's this guy named
Mhm.
Gio on there who's a total fucking mama's boy. And he's
Mhm.
also like great to his wife, and he loves women. Like he just loves women. And his mother is not a like my son can never move out of the house type mother. Like
Yeah.
it's a mother's boy who has like healthy respect for women, fine with. The mother's boys whose mothers then say my son can do no wrong, fucking problematic. Problematic.
Mhm. Look at what Amanda just said. It's
Yes,
pretty
my
funny.
son is good. That's my younger son. Yes, that's my son who's not a Marxist. He's like he's a very talented. We have family dinner once a month that was instituted by my son Henry, and we go to a restaurant and do an
I love
activity
it.
or go to someone's house and play games. Last time we went to axe throwing,
Mhm.
and none of us had ever been axe throwing before. None of
So
us.
fun. I love axe throwing.
There's technique. The guy shows you. You like do
Oh, yeah.
this, whatever. Teddy, zero technique. One hand, bullseye,
That's me. That's what I do.
bullseye. Because he plays
Lindsay
Dungeons and
gets so
Dragons.
mad at me.
I think he's been manifesting axe throwing his entire young life.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I think one of the best not best, but like the best example of the manifestation of like boy mom is God, what's his name? The kid in Oklahoma, Burke.
mm-hmm.
The one we covered about that who like almost murdered and raped those two girls in his high school. Jesse Mac Butler. That's what it was. Why did I say Burke? Jesse Mac Butler. Like the way his mom and his sister protect him.
Yeah.
Just makes me sick, honestly.
I
but
love
anyway.
this clip. I love this clip. This is how I feel too. My boys are mama's boys, and my daughter-in-law is out of his league. She's amazing. I have the same situation. My son's about to
Aw.
get married, and they broke up for a period of time after he went to on his college, like study abroad. All the people who
Mhm.
went broke up with their girlfriends, and I was very supportive. I was like, I love you very much, but let's revisit this in a few months. And didn't you know it? He begged her to fucking come back after
I
a few
bet.
months. Because she's the best. They've been together since they were like 15. And like, it's like, when you've met somebody better than you, I know that can be scary, but it's
Mhm.
good for you ultimately.
Mhm.
Anyway.
Totally.
Yeah.
Okay. So we have the what you missed when I went solo this week was, and have you had a chance to watch Lana from Truth and Transparency's video about Michael Lank, Sergeant Lank of the Karen Reed trial.
Sergeant Lank
Karen
of the
Reed
Canton
case.
Police, first
Of the
responder in
Canton
the Karen
Police.
Reed. Yes.
One of the very first responders. There is dash cam video from inside of, I believe it's Steve Serif's car. It's either Serif or Good, not really sure. They both show up in this video, where it sounds like Lank is talking about a random mysterious phone that he happened to find inside of Steve Serif's car, his patrol car. And no one seems to know whose phone this is and where it came from and who it belongs to, but he's going to take a screen grab of it, or he's going to take a screenshot of it. And basically he also gets on the phone with dispatch and tells them some very interesting things. Sam Beningo, did I do it right? Sam Beningo?
Yes.
Is that right? Sam Beningo?
Congratulations.
Thank you. I got it finally. So Sam Beningo did the psychological breakdown of what Lank is saying to dispatch. And Lana did a breakdown of the timestamps and movement on John O'Keefe's phone. And she is positing that John O'Keefe's phone was in Lank's pocket when he arrived at the scene for the first time. And did you get a chance to watch that video?
We saw Carrie hand Lank the phone in that
We saw
video.
Carrie hand a phone to
Oh,
Lank, and people are saying, wait. Here's what I'm going to say about that. Karen's phone was in the back seat of Carrie's car. Somebody picked it up.
I
Could have been
don't think
Karen's
that
phone.
Lank came to the scene with John's phone. I think that the only record of his phone being, quote, under his body was from Jen McCabe, who said we turned him over as she's in the car making a phone. Like, who's we? Like, you never went over there. Like, what are you talking about?
Well,
Yeah.
there's
So
some dispute about that as well.
I don't think that John's phone was underneath him all night, and I don't think that Lank came to the scene with John's phone. I think that Carrie handed the phone away right away, and then there was a whole bunch of bullshit about who had the phone or what. But it's very clear that they also lied about her handing the phone over right away, and the phone, like it's the whole thing is fucking. It's all lies. Everything
Okay.
any of those people said are lies. But I don't think
Let me-
Lank came to the scene with the phone.
Let me play devil's advocate. I don't know if he came to the scene with it or not, and I don't know if Carrie handed it to him or not. But let's say Carrie did hand it to him.
Mm-hmm.
That video happens before he goes to sit down in the cruiser, and when he's talking to Seraph, he says, "Do you know whose phone this is? Do you know where it came from?" Why would he say that if Carrie had just handed it to him?
Because, I mean, Carrie handed it to him, and like maybe that he wasn't fully clear that it was John's phone at that point. I don't think any of this stuff I don't think this little stuff matters. I think the lies later are what matter, and they point you to the truth. That's what I think.
What do you mean the lies later? What are you talking about?
When they lie later about
Mhm.
having turned John over, having found his phone underneath him, having sat in the back of the cruiser praying and hearing Karen say, I hit him, I hit him, I hit him. Those are all big lies. So all you have to know is that none of that happened. Like all you have to know is that didn't happen. I do not think that a conspiracy with the cops began before the cops arrived on that scene in the morning. I think the plan was to say he had been hit by a plow or had come to some other unfortunate end until they saw that teeny little crack in Karen's thing or whatever, and all decided to come up with this other story. But I just don't think that's plausible. I also think that's not helpful to come up with theories like that at this point. What is helpful is showing the lies that we know are lies. But yeah, so I don't agree with that.
Yeah, I think it's been pretty much debunked. She invited people to debunk it, and I didn't have any answers, but I thought it was an interesting theory. I did think that it was interesting because there are some little things. Like, yes, I saw the video of Carrie handing the phone to him, but then why is he saying he doesn't know where he got it? That was
because
strange.
They're stupid.
Yeah, well,
the easiest explanation is because they're stupid and they're incompetent. And he may have been told it was John's phone, but didn't know it was John's phone. I don't know. All that stuff, all the new video stuff is fucking wild.
Okay, so let's actually I think even more important than this Lank video, although some of the things that he says in the car are very interesting when they're like, he slips up, and from what we understand, he says it's that they think it's the suspect's phone, which is strange. But they also say, hey, do you want to go talk to those people in the house? And they're like, yeah, I guess we got to do that. But the more important videos that came out to me is the video of Jen McCabe driving Karen's car with Carrie following her in her car.
Yes.
And it's the first time that we have seen surveillance footage of Karen's car driving because, the library footage was mysteriously missing. And in the footage of Jen McCabe driving Karen Reed's car, you can see that the taillight is intact. The diffuser is
That's
intact.
Right. Yeah, that's right. So this is the Pequot Side Farm video. This is a video that I remember seeing online, and I did not hear Kevin Lenahan say this himself, but I remember seeing online many moons ago, Kevin Lenahan saying that wait till you all see what Karen Reed did at Pequot Side Farm. And the story in the ether was that that video will reveal that she got out of her car or something and like pointed at the broken taillight or some bullshit. Of course, it never came up again because that's not what it reveals. Just like all the other videos that went missing, what it reveals is that Karen Reed's taillight looked like what Officer Barrow said it looked like, where there's a little piece the size of a toy dollar bill missing in the middle, and it is not completely busted out, and the diffuser is not broken, because if the diffuser was broken, it would not be shining at all. So there's a whole, it's an incredible piece of footage, and apparently it was inverted, and the people who've turned it around, it's very fun. Like, everything's fucking inverted, makes no sense. And somebody, I think I saw Corey or somebody thinks they may have found the missing temple video because they had the timestamp on the video versus the timestamp of when they say the car went by.
Oh,
But anyway, it's the same. The light, the tail light was not smashed. Like, this is like the fact that anyone is disputing that the tail light was smashed is like so silly. I mean, look, this is a great lie. Another big lie, huge lie that Carrie said as that when they passed that farm and they got to John O'Keefe's house. Now, for the timeline, for those who don't understand, I'm going to do a little signposting now.
thank you.
Karen Reed called, I'm going to use approximate times. She called Jen at approximately 5 a.m. Jen, instead of saying, go ahead and look for him, said, come to my house.
Come to my house.
Carrie also came to her house. Matt McCabe later said he didn't want them driving Karen's car because he noticed the taillight was busted. How would he have noticed that? He was inside the fucking house. But so that was later. Big lie. So everything points to what's actually true. Instead of then them all getting into Karen's car or Carrie's car and driving around, somebody has the idea of, Karen, let's waste some more time and bring your car back to John's house and leave it there. Okay. So
take your fucking boots off, Karen.
That's when they're driving by the farm. And that is when you see Jen McCabe driving Karen's vehicle without a busted taillight, with Carrie behind her. Carrie then says at trial 1, we got out of the car and Karen
changed her story.
Pointed at her busted taillight, said her sleeve got caught on it, blah, 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 blah. Trial 2, they show Carrie the video in which that never happens. And Carrie goes, oh, I'm remembering wrong. It must have happened after. This is a great example of an elaborate big lie that you can tell when they're saying it, that it's an elaborate, because there's a pattern of like speech and there's a pattern of delivery and a pattern of surety of something that happened 3 fucking years ago. They say something so sure and it sounds really like incriminating. That is definitely a lie because it's almost always borne out to be not true. And because they don't want you to look at the thing that is true, which is that her taillight was not broken. Like this, the pattern of lying. I really fucking want this Deitch guy to be elected because
same.
I really think he cares about this. I hope he does. I mean, I know he has to look forward and prosecute new cases and clean up the office and has a lot of work to do. But the fact that this was allowed and these police reports were allowed and that the police reports were later disavowed and said, oh, that was a mistake. I meant to write this, makes me fucking bananas. And the fact that someone like Lenahan is propagating all this and the Coven on their little forehead channel or whatever it's called, it makes me crazy.
There's so many names now.
It makes me crazy.
I mean, and we have
sorry about the diatribe, but I'm crazy. I'm being made crazy by this.
Tangent away. We have Miss Emily C in the house, and she is saying, I think Lank sounds sketchy on that video because he's freaking out. He knows Brian Albert. He's assuming they had a fight, and he does not want to have to deal with that. I think that's probably true. And also, I just want to mention that Emily is also asking anybody who is willing to go out and, they're going to scatter busted taillight on the ground, either in the snow or in the grass. I don't know, Emily, maybe you can clarify. And then they're going to do a search of that taillight to see what happens. So anybody that would be willing to do that with Emily should definitely go and do it. One of the other things that they seem to get wrong a lot is timestamps, right? So one
of the things they lie about a lot is timestamps.
Yes. So one of the interesting things that came out from the sidebars this week with Corey Hopkins, and I'm not sure who it must be Kate Peter. I think Masshole, whatever. Kate Peter.
Masshole
not
Mafia.
Sure. Yeah. She's been posting. See, here it is. Here's the smoking gun. Basically, Karen was Googling drunk driving lawyers at 1:27 a.m. right after John was murdered. And it's like, you are a friggin' moron. It's in the sidebars, the exact time. And you know what? When she's called out on it, here's the thing that pisses me off. When she's called out on it, she goes, oh, I'm just going off of the report that I linked to. This is a news report and this is what they're reporting. And I'm like, yeah, and their reporting is wrong because it was actually 1:27 p.m. the same day, but 1:27 p.m. and it was after Karen received a call from Michael Proctor saying he was coming over to the house to question her.
Correct. And she knew she had been drinking and driving, right?
And also, she is allowed to fucking call an attorney.
Calling an attorney is not consciousness of guilt. I call bullshit on anybody who claims that. It's ridiculous.
Can you imagine though, like perpetuating that? Is that right? Perpetuating that lie that it was at 1:27 a.m. It reminds me so much of do you remember when Plevin was watching the Sallyport video, the inverted Sallyport video, and his his in the moment response
Surety?
was,
Yes.
yeah, see, look, there it is. There it is. There's the taillight. It's gone. Blah, 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 blah. Well, guess what? Yeah, it looks like it's gone because it was it inverted, Kevin. And it's just like, what the fuck are we doing here? Like, come on, you guys.
I gave you
But yeah,
his book for your birthday. Are you happy about that?
you did. And you know what? I mentioned I would like to read it out loud, but it would definitely
Jimmy did that on
violate.
his show. Jimmy did that on
I
his show.
know,
So
but I want to do like a series of it, but I can't. Maybe I can get him to maybe he'll give
just
me
the
permission.
one passage. I bookmarked the best passage for you about the face of Irish poverty, generational Irish poverty. So good.
I love it. I
It's
love it.
so
I love it.
good.
I love it.
Um,
Dakota Girl, thank you so much for watching the Newslight channel. I really appreciate that. And everybody, while you're here, go like our video, subscribe if you're not subscribed, and then also, if you don't mind, go over and like the Newslight with Mel Barrett. Okay, let me catch up on a couple of comments, and then we've got a couple more audio video things to talk about with Karen Reed stuff. I agree with Rebecca.
Oh, that
about the
Langdon doing the
snowplow.
thing. Oh, but the snow. Oh, yeah. Okay, so the transmission thing has sort of been half debunked. So I'm not worried so much about the transmission anymore, about the snowplow. That being said, new tape of Dever
Yeah.
doesn't disabuse the notion that there may have been a story seeded that he was hit by a snowplow.
Yes. And so Dever, some audio came out.
Who's Dever? Remind us.
I'm sorry. Kelly Dever is the Canton police officer, then Boston police officer, who claimed on the stand in trial 2 that she had a false memory when she told the FBI that Higgins and Berkowitz were in the Sallyport for a wildly long time with the suspect's car. And she found that odd. Kelly Dever was also put on the communications desk when Sean Good bounced out of Canton PD and ran over to the scene. So she was on dispatch. So there's a lot of audio that's come out recently in this last batch of documents that Corey Hopkins was able to get, that is Dever talking to people at the scene, and Dever talking to first responders, and Dever talking to hospital, I believe. Where she's saying, first of all, she gave the wrong address. She gave
the state ME. Yes.
She gives the wrong address. She says 32 Fairview. She talks to Sean Good. And Sean Good is acting strange. I will say that in these moments. He's calling. Lank also calls over to Good Sam. For what reason? He should have been conflicted out at that point. By the time that Lank calls Good Sam and we hear that call asking for an update about John O'Keefe, Canton was already conflicted out. Why is Lank calling? Sean Good also made some strange calls. And then Kelly Dever in the audio is they're asking like what happened to John O'Keefe. And she's like, we're not really sure. He's got some bruises and cuts and scrapes on his face and his arm. It could have been a fight. He could have been hit by a snowplow.
Yeah. And it's interesting. So I just want to ask the audience a question. I have been reaching out to people involved in the case, and I just haven't gotten a clear answer. I am assuming that the defense did not have access to this material, that it was not disclosed to the defense, but I don't know that for sure. I don't know that for sure. I don't know if they had it and didn't find these bits for some reason because they were focusing on other things. But I've been working under the assumption that they didn't have it because I cannot imagine a world in which they would not have played that tape for Dever when Dever was on the stand. Because
to impeach her.
Well, just to have the jury hear what she said. I mean, whether or not it impeached her or not, I mean, she said she was in dispatch, so she shouldn't be impeached on that. But whether or not, so the jury could hear her say the words fight and snowplow. Like, that's why I would have played it when she was on the stand.
And she wasn't the only one who on audio calling dispatch or calling the hospital who said it looks like he's been in a fight or
Correct.
He was hit by a snowplow. Lank also said it. So I find it almost like 99% it's not plausible that the defense had it, because I just don't think there's a world in which Alan Jackson wouldn't have played those tapes in front of the jury, like you said, just so they could hear the word. It looks like he was been in a fight.
100%.
Because you remember him trying to claw that line out of all the detectives and the cops.
Yes.
Like you originally said, it looked like he had been in a fight, right?
No,
no. But if he had been able to play those tapes, and honestly, if he had been able to play those tapes in the first trial, I don't think it would have been a mistrial. I think the jury would have been like, okay, everybody here really thinks this guy was in a fight. So I probably think he's in a fight too.
It was a mistrial because of a confusing jury form. Let's be real.
Yes, agreed. Amanda is asking, do either of you think we will ever know the actual truth, or do you think it's all too far gone? Sometimes I wonder if someone will slip up or have a conscience. I
I
am
don't know.
praying for that every day. I want Deborah to come forward, but I don't think she will.
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that question. I don't think Deborah knows the full truth. I just think Deborah knows what she was asked to do. I don't think Deborah knows what happened in that house. I don't think Deborah knows about, she wasn't privy to the conversation that Higgy and Berkey had in the Sally Port. She only knows what so she's just a piece. She's a piece that points again to this idea that this is not a grand conspiracy. This is a couple of cops, some people hiding some shit in the house that happened, and a couple of cops doing their job the way they always did it, realizing at some point they were wrong, and then scrambling to make it look like they did a legit investigation, that they were right the whole time. And Deborah was a piece in that. Deborah was a puzzle piece in that. It's like, let's get her to disavow that she could have actually been there when she says they were in the Sally Port, because let's show her some timesheets. Have we ever seen these timesheets? Is there an electronic? I mean, if they can fucking pull the records from a lens crafters from 1999 to figure out whether or not Heyman Lee's boyfriend was working at lens crafters in the Adnan Syed case, it's pretty amazing that what we have not seen is some definitive electronic unimpeachable proof of Kelly Devers having clocked out and clocked in, although she could have clocked out, but that doesn't mean she wasn't there anyway. So anyway.
Dakota Girl was saying that they heard that Carrie said she had both John and Karen's phones. I heard that too, and I don't remember where I heard it, but I also heard that too. I don't know if that really means anything, but yeah, I also heard that too. And just for the record, so I don't watch Lana at all. Melanie says, I love Samantha. I'll never watch Lana. Wait, did Samantha talk about Lana's video? That is the only reason I know about it, is because I was watching a Samantha video, and she played almost the entirety of Lana's video in one of her videos. So that's how I learned about it. I didn't know anything about Truth and Transparency or Lana, but I was compelled to go to watch it because it was on Sam's channel. And yeah, so that's how I heard about it. But
I hear there's some problematic stuff with some of these channels. And God love you. I will give you all the credit in the world for being willing to watch some clowns on the internet doing clown shit in a way that I cannot do. I cannot do it. I saw that Brother Counsel had that debate about Karen Reed's innocence with that dude. I'm like, why does that debate even fucking exist?
What we're talking about is Brother Counsel, LawTube channel, had a live debate with this guy called Big Law Mike, who is basically the lawyer version of Kevin Lanahan. That's the way I look at it. And
who also pretends to be a lawyer in a different account, by the way.
It was so disingenuous. I felt so bad for Brother Counsel. He was schooling this guy. First of all, he's in my opinion, this guy, Big Law Mike, is basically, he has to be one of the worst defense attorneys in the country. Again, my opinion. And also, he barely remembered anything about this case. Like, Brother Counsel came to the debate with notes and facts and figures, and this guy was like, well, if I remember correctly, they said that he was hit by a car and that was proven.
That's literally everybody who says that Karen Reed did it either doesn't know the facts or they misstate the facts on purpose. There's no documentation of her saying, I hit him. It's not true just because it was repeated a bunch of times. It's not fucking true. He was not hit by a car. No sane medical examiner will say he was hit by a car. Even that clown that they brought up from Florida, that neurosurgeon guy, would not say he was hit by a car. He said this injury could have been caused by him falling backward on frozen ground. Did he say he was hit by a car? No one will say that. And then who was it? Lenahan or somebody, or was like, somebody was on the line was like, look at the x-ray of his arm. Why is there only one bone below the thing? Because that's literally look at the skeleton in your fucking doctor's office, you moron. That's literally how the arm is built. They lie. When we don't know something, we say we don't know. That's a big difference between somebody who's lying and someone who's having a good faith argument.
And like this brings me back to what Kate Peter posted like a couple days ago, like bombshell, here's Karen Reed looking for a drunk driving attorney at 1:27 a.m.
Bombshell.
Fuck off, bombshell. You're wrong. I mean, come on, you know?
You
And it's like,
wrong.
but the thing is, they won't even admit when it's blatantly wrong. So like she was proven wrong in text, in sidebars, and her response to it was, I was just going off of the article that I posted. It's like, well, you were wrong. And the article was wrong. So what do
We
you
made
say
mistakes
to
on
that?
this show, right? And we're like, well,
I
that was
mean,
a
we
mistake.
make
We
mistakes
were
all
wrong.
the time.
I
I
made
try to
mistakes
say
too.
it.
It's fine.
I try to say it.
It's okay to make a mistake and to say, you know, I don't have that detail right. I don't want. It's not okay to go on the internet and say things that you know are not true or that you are saying
Keep going
without
with it.
fact supporting with it, and then
Yeah.
dying on those hills over and over again. I'm sorry I'm on a soapbox today. I'm really fired
It's
up because I've
okay.
been sick for a week. But these people, like, how do they look themselves in the mirror? Sometimes I see people like out on the street and there's like some person wearing like a sweatshirt with like a cat on it, like giving a high five to another cat. And I'm like,
Mhm.
okay, clearly you didn't look in a mirror before you left. It's not the same as being able to look in the mirror. How do they do that? How do they look themselves in the eye while they are brushing their teeth and feel good every day? They can't possibly.
I think we're just old. I think that the kids love that kind of shit.
And by the way, no offense to anybody who has that sweatshirt with a cat high
I was
fiving
gonna
another cat.
say.
That was just an example. I love the cat lady.
Disclaimer. Emily says, I agree with the exception of Higgins doing his interview at his lawyer's house. That's sketchy as fuck.
I don't think
Completely
so.
agree.
I think
do.
Higgins is sketchy as fuck, but I think doing like if you heard a defendant doing that, you would not say it was sketchy as fuck. So I just don't think it's fair to say that about Higgins.
But there's a difference. If it were a civilian defendant, absolutely. This guy is an ATF agent who works in the Canton PD, is a self-professed bestie of Berkowitz.
He's a decorated dude.
He's a decorated dude. He's already been seen in the Sallyport with, he has no reason to be in that Sallyport around Karen's car. Absolutely no reason. He is ATF. The idea that they gave these people, including Brian Albert and other cops that were involved, the idea that they gave them so many concessions and went so easy on them because they were cops is what pisses me off. Like the idea that they allowed Higgins to print out selected text messages.
Oh yeah, that's insane. That's insane.
He should not have been meeting with they shouldn't have been meeting with him with his lawyer at his house. He should have been in the station.
Sure.
He should have been answering for why he was in the station in the middle of the night after John O'Keefe died.
That's the cop's fault. So I just I can never get on board ever with saying that somebody being with a lawyer is sketchy. I can't. I can say that the cops were sketchy and them allowing that to happen.
What I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying.
I just don't think Higgins wanting to meet it. I mean, he wanted to be in a safe space, a safe, neutral space because he was lying. But the actual act of there being a lawyer, I can't get on board with that ever saying that that's bad. We ever see Good's message that got him canned? Lord, I hope so. Lordy, I know there are tapes.
Me too. There are tapes. Lordy, there are tapes. Let's see.
Email hearing.
Email. Oh, right. Email hearing. Sorry. Let me get rid of this.
I'm obsessed with this email story. I love it.
Why don't you
so
then?
much.
Because go ahead.
Okay, let's signpost a little bit.
Yeah, thank you.
Back in December, Karen Reed's civil. This is in the case of the O'Keefes versus Karen et al. Okay. There was a hearing in December. After that hearing, there were some interrogatories sent back and forth and so forth. And Karen's lawyer, Damon Seligson, he said he's never done it before. I tend to believe any lawyer when they say something like this. I do think that Karen really wants to be a part of her legal team actively. So I understand the instinct, but he blind copied her on a communication with the other legal team. And she responded, reply all, after something being forwarded to her, not realizing the other legal team was on there. So she sent some sort of candid fucking email that probably, we don't know what it says, but it probably said something like, everybody fucking knows that he died in the house after being punched by blah, blah, blah. She probably just said something, that she believes is true. But her legal team immediately asked the lawyers for the O'Keefes to not look at the email and to destroy it. He said no. They ask again. He says no. Crazy. They then state their intent to use this email as impeachment material because they say it contradicts something that Karen put in one of her interrogatories. Right. In response to this, Karen's lawyers file a motion explaining that this cannot be called waiving of a attorney-client privilege because it was an inadvertent. She didn't, it's not her fault that she was blind copied. She didn't know. So clearly it was not waiving attorney-client privilege. And in addition, this does not contradict her interrogatory. In fact, here's the answer to that interrogatory right here on this filing. So there was a hearing about all of this week, and it was so fun. It was so short. I love the judge in this case. I do. He's just,
yeah, I do too.
He's just so not like having any bullshit, and I love it. And his thing was basically like, I on purpose didn't want to look at the email because I just was going to weigh the privilege question or not. But now I realize like I need to see the email. And her lawyer was like, please read the email, because if you do, you'll see that it's like not what they, and this has very much become, because now the O'Keefe's lawyers are saying that it was bad that they put that interrogatory on that public filing because clearly they're just trying to influence the public. It's like, what are you trying to do by claiming that she lied in a secret email that none of us will ever see? You are trying to influence the public. This is a question of chest banging and performative bullshit. But now basically the lawyer is going to decide, the judge is going to decide whether or not the O'Keefe's lawyer can use this email later in the proceeding. That's all that happened. I loved it. I love these short hearings that are about one clear issue that people argue about. Karen's lawyer, Damon Seligson, was on fire in that hearing. I really enjoyed it. Did you watch it?
Yeah. I did watch it. And also was that also the depositions hearing? Did they cover both in that hearing or just?
I think they just covered this email-ish. That's the only part I saw anyway. Yeah.
So I also watched the deposition hearing, which I thought was really interesting. Did you watch that one?
Oh, maybe it was the same when he was admonishing them for not getting their shit together.
Yeah, except for the fact that Karen's team has already filed what they need to file for the depositions that they want. Now, just to recap,
the scheduled stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a sort of a scheduling hearing, but also that I think it's the same hearing. Obviously, chat, correct me if I'm wrong, but both sides were there. Because the judge is really annoyed that they would like to have 60 plus depositions done in the O'Keefe versus Karen Reed civil case and Waterfall and CF McCarthy's. And they only have 20 duplicates. So that means that they only agree on 20. And then there were another 40 plus that are, outstanding. O'Keefe's have not, thank you for Tony. Thanks. So 2 hearings. They were 2 short hearings over the course of a week, but the O'Keefe side has not filed to do any depositions, even though they've said who they want. Whereas Karen's team has made files, and the judge brought that up. He's like, you guys have already filed. I don't know what these guys are doing, basically. And so Karen Seligson, was it Seligson in that one? I don't remember. Her attorney was like, yeah, we've filed, but we can't do anything until we get discovery.
Yeah.
And the discovery, we have gone back and forth for 6 months trying to negotiate discovery. We shouldn't have to be negotiating discovery with Canton PD or the DA's office. And they're saying they gave us stuff. And then we're like, no, you didn't. And then they come back and they're like, oh, you're right. No, we didn't. And then it's 2 more months. And then they're like, oh, we gave that to you. And we're like, no, you didn't. And the thing that sucks about that, it sucks for Karen mostly, is she's having to pay for her lawyers to negotiate for 6 months over something they should already have.
Negotiate in bad faith. Yeah. They're negotiating with people in bad faith. I just want to put this comment up. You don't have to find out what a cop's salary is by reading in the Boston Herald. These are all public records, and there's databases of public official salaries everywhere. There's like a Sunshine website. There's, all sorts of nonprofits that do this, but all that information is public record. You can absolutely find out that, for instance, Kevin Albert made something like $300,000 one year working for the Canton PD. Like, that's all public. Yeah. These folks work for you if you live in Boston. Right. They work for you, and you do.
Is no longer a Boston cop, so I don't know if she's getting paid.
I don't know, not anymore, but they would have had her salary for the last fiscal year.
Sure. Yeah, I don't really know. I think that more than getting paid, Kelly Dever is terrified of what might happen to her if she tells the truth. But so anyway,
I know you feel bad for her.
I do feel bad for her. I feel bad for her. I feel bad for Carrie sometimes. I feel bad for a lot of people who got used by, in my opinion, the Alberts. So anyway, basically back to, let's see. So Karen's attorneys are saying they can't move forward until they have discovery. Canton isn't responding, basically fucking around with them. And then after all of this, after those 6 months of negotiations where they still don't have discovery, they're asking for Proctor's phone. Of course, Proctor saying he lost his phone.
Lost it.
So lost it. Just
You look so
lost
cute
it.
when you're. Yes.
Lost it.
Yes, we know
Lost
Mel's
it.
frozen. Yes, he lost it. He lost it. He lost
Yeah.
it. He lost the most important object in this legal case. Lost it.
Ludicrous. So they
You're
went to
been frozen for a really long time, just FYI.
I'm so sorry. I
It's
don't
not
know
your, I know it's
why.
not your fault. I'm
moving
acknowledge now you're moving now. It's like sometimes when you stop talking, I think it's like the data of both. It's Rivers. It's a StreamYard thing. It's not you.
Okay. So after all this months of communication, Proctor lost his phone. So they went to the DA's office, and then more months of communication and very little to no discovery. The judge set another hearing date for next Thursday. He is asking the attorneys to figure their shit out, basically. Diller, who is the attorney for the O'Keefes, needs to get his shit together. He wants to know about their plan for depositions. And Diller, this I found really interesting. At the very end, after the judge was like, anybody else have anything? And everyone was like, no. And then Diller was like, oh, wait a minute. You're asking us to submit who we want to depose again. But I don't want to do that publicly. Can we do it in camera? And basically, he's worried about the press finding out who they want to talk to, which I find really interesting. Why do you think he's worried about the public knowing who they want to talk to?
Because everybody will talk about it and dissect it, but guess what? They're going to do that anyway. So get over it, dude. Somebody says they feel bad for Tommy Paul. Did you see the sidebar about Tommy Paul?
Oh, I did. They were like, sorry, he's too dumb. You really can't ask him questions like that.
And Deb Canoni is like, yeah. She's not really with it.
Dumb. Did you see the sidebar about the young photo of David Yannetti?
Yes, I did.
That was hilarious. So what we're talking about is, I guess this must have been, I don't remember what the testimony was. It must have been around when they were talking about, who was saying they hated David Yannetti? Oh, it was Proctor.
Yeah.
Proctor was saying he hated David Yannetti. I think this is what it was about. And they wanted to put a picture on the screen.
Yeah.
And they chose this picture of Yannetti.
Well, they used the picture that he shared. He actually had that picture in his text. Yeah.
Right. And Bev was basically like, it's a very flattering picture, Mr. Yannetti.
And he's like, that's because it's 40 years old.
I know. So he did look pretty hot in that picture. I thought he was real cute.
I did like the sidebar. I'm sorry. I'm so sidetracking.
No,
I like the sidebar about how angry David Yannetti got about Proctor saying that he met Lucky Loughran at the school where Courtney Proctor taught on purpose. And Yannetti was not having it. He was like, literally, a man asked me to meet him in a parking lot in a town in which I don't live and I don't know where anybody works.
Right.
So I went to that place, met the man, drove around, went back to that parking lot and left. And it's like, so I'm thinking about this a couple different ways. Okay. One is he's right. Two is, what is the conflict? Why would the cop's sister feel somehow intimidated by a defense lawyer for a trial that has not occurred yet being in the parking lot of her workplace? Why would that be considered intimidation of any kind? She's not a witness. She is the sister of the investigating officer.
Right.
It's so fucked up.
Right. These sidebars.
Spaghetti. Yep.
This latest batch of sidebars they're pretty spicy and I love them. Let me see. I'm just gonna go through some of the comments here. Hold on.
We'll have to talk about sidebars some more in our next show.
Yeah, for sure. I had a couple of comments start.
Oh, her wife and children. Sorry, Courtney is his wife. I apologize. But why would that also be considered intimidation? If a defense lawyer for a trial that has not occurred yet, showing up in a parking lot, in a public parking lot of a public taxpayer funded building to go on another drive, like, why would that be intimidating? She's not a cop. She's not a witness. And she happens to work there. It's like if she worked at Target, would it have been considered intimidation if they went to the Target parking lot? Probably that's what they would. It's very, very fucking strange. He was very angry. He was
so on his high horse too. Proctor, who was like,
Courtney is his sister. That's what I thought. I thought that was his sister. Isn't his wife Elizabeth?
Courtney's his sister. Elizabeth is his wife. And Proctor was like, I don't like Mr. Yannetti because just yesterday, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, you're okay, really, dude, you don't have any room to talk. I start a few comments. Let's do a little bit of comments and then we'll get back to what we were talking about. But
Become a member of the channel. I'll send you some stickers. Just gonna put that plug in and send Mel a tip.
I would love to have Melanie Little on. I think she's great. I love listening to her commentary. I've been following, we haven't talked about this case yet, but Georgia versus Faust, which just had a verdict yesterday.
Everyone's saying it's wrongful conviction. I don't know anything about it.
I personally, in my opinion, huge wrongful conviction.
I think it is because Colin Miller of Undisclosed, and Colin Miller, who is one of the greatest lawyers working in the United States. He's a professor. He doesn't actually try cases, but he's written a ton of Supreme Court amicus briefs. He's a genius. He is now offering to help that team.
Yes.
And so he does not offer to help
does.
teams when it's the wrong thing to do.
This is the case where, I don't know if you remember or if you saw this, but in opening statements, the judge sanctioned the defense attorney because he was breaking her rules in his opening statement, and it was objected to twice in the opening statement. And he would basically, what he was saying was, they can't say where or when the DNA basically was inside this woman's body. And it could have been because they met at a Mexican restaurant. It could have been. And then as soon as he said those things, they were bringing in the grape shield laws. And she had said that they couldn't talk about her past sexual history, but the defense attorney was saying they're saying that it's his DNA and that it happened that night. We're saying it could have happened earlier.
Right.
And so he brought it up twice in the opening. He was objected to. She had to let the jury go out of the room twice. And on the second time, she fined him $1,000 and held him in contempt. So that was that case. And basically, Cliff Notes version of it is this case happened in, I think it was 2001 or 2003, where this woman, Tara, was sexually assaulted and murdered in her apartment. And then the apartment was set on fire. It was a cold case until 2023. They had a sexual assault kit. She had a boyfriend who she had just broken up with, who was kind of a loser and was kind of angry. And he should have been the actual suspect. And also keep in mind, Tara was white and Faust is a black man who had a record, who never knew this woman. There's no direct connection between him and her. His DNA in 2023 was identified in CODIS as being at the scene and being on her body. I know.
No, I'm not saying that doesn't mean anything. Like there's so much problematic shit with touch DNA,
like
all this stuff. Yeah.
Touch and transfer DNA. That's the problem.
Yeah.
The entire case is built on that DNA that was found on Tara's body being Faust, even though there were other male DNA profiles on her body as well.
Yeah.
And her boyfriend's alibi wasn't true. And the defense tried to do a third
party culprit.
Thank you. Third party culprit defense. And they actually questioned this guy, Melton, on the stand, who was her ex-boyfriend, and he did not do well. It was kind of uncomfortable and weird. And the jury found Faust guilty on 12 counts. He literally doesn't even know this person. He doesn't know her. He wasn't identified in the area. No one saw him there. The only thing that ties him to this scene is that his DNA was there.
It's a public lynching. It sounds like I would recommend for anybody who wants clarification on what I just said about DNA, listen to one of my all-time favorite podcasts is season 1 of the show Suspect. It's from Campside Media. Season 1 is about a case about a wrongful prosecution as a result of touch DNA. And it is so damning of the lab system and the lack of surety around the use of touch DNA in certain instances, especially in old cases. Redflix, I just searched Netflix. I can't make this out. So my podcast is called You Can't Make This Up. It's audio. It's on the audio apps. And I interviewed Jay Manuel and Nigel Barker from the Tyra Banks. It's not Tyra Banks' documentary, but she's in it and she makes herself look real bad, which is why it's so fun to watch. Model. It's about America. It's called Reality Check, America's Next Top Model. I did 2 interviews on it. I also interviewed the 2 directors of it, which is also a fantastic interview that's coming out next week, I think. But the Nigel Barker, Jay Manuel interview, it's worth listening to. I swear they are freaking great, and they spill a lot of tea.
And guys, I'll put all the links that we're talking about in the show notes on this.
Oh, shut up, Dakota girl. She's just trolling us. Trolling. I'm sending stickers tomorrow. I've been on my deathbed.
It's true. Trolling. She's been so sick for like over a week.
She saw it in person. Mel saw it. She saw it on the stream when I almost passed out, and then she saw it in person. I was again all white and not great.
Mm-hmm. You all saw it actually. If you were here, if you were in the members only live.
If anyone on in this audience knows about chronic sinusitis, which is I believe what I'm dealing with, and has ever been to an ENT and had like a bubble thing stepped up their sinus, if you could let me know how it was, that would be great, because I'm thinking about seeing if I need to have that done.
This is an interesting question, and I don't know the answer to it. But I keep hearing this person's name coming up. Can someone in the chat?
I didn't think you were. No, Dakota. I thought you were just trolling us by being funny. I didn't actually think you were a troll. I thought you were making a joke. So I got it. I totally got it.
Tony says, can someone in the chat or something's off pod tell me what BB Fell's part is in this? She never says anything. So BB Fell is one of the attorneys in the civil case. I think she is on the O'Keefe side. Do you know who BB Fell is?
Never heard
Rebecca?
That name before.
Yeah, she keeps coming up. Everyone keeps bringing her up. I don't know what the significance is. I assume, I don't know. I mean, I'll have to look it up. If you have some information, Tony, let me know. Let's see. Okay.
One of the things that I've noted this week is that in the other case, in the Karen Reed versus everybody case, the House defendants are starting to get their own lawyers. They are starting to file new appearances for new attorneys. Thank God for their rights. And granted, I don't care shit about these people, but I do care about their civil rights, because I care about everybody's civil rights. They do themselves no favors by sharing attorneys in that case, because there's an entire world in civil cases where a jury can decide fault of some people and not fault of other people and so forth. And if you all share an attorney, those of you who may have less culpability are exposing yourself by sharing an attorney that might have more culpability. So that's all I got to say. Hey,
I just want to, that was not my body making those sounds. That was Ruby snoring. So I thought I would bring her on. Rage Knitter just became a member. Thank you. That's lovely of you. And we appreciate it.
Fellas for Karen, somebody said. I was in that, when I was in that judges meeting, that judges conference, I was sitting next to a fancy judge, and he ripped one so loud while we were just sitting there listening to a thing. It was wild. I was like, that. You hear about that happening sometimes, and you're like, come on, that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Dude ripped it.
It does.
Like,
apparently it happens all the time with our current POTUS, who also
Tony had sinus surgery. Yes, it happens all the time. He apparently has a lot of pant accidents.
Yeah, and he also apparently smells like rotten roast beef, which that I couldn't. That smell.
I heard about this happened in the first administration too. I know journalists who worked on the White House beat, and this is like a kind of a well-known thing among journalists in the White House beat. It's not a knock on a person because you don't like their politics. Apparently it's objectively true. The other thing is that I know journalists on the White House beat who like to prop up my favorite conspiracy theory of all time,
which is
fake Melania. Let's just leave that there. It's my favorite conspiracy theory of all time.
Have you heard about fake Ghislaine?
Yeah, I've seen the fake one. I don't think that's fake. I just think she's gained a lot of weight in prison.
I don't know. It looks like Mike Myers in a wig to me, but all right. I am really far behind on these comments. Oh, we're talking about Faust. To be clear, I did an episode on the In Between podcast this week about Faust's case, and because I just couldn't help myself, I pronounced his name Faust because that's how it's spelled.
Yes.
It's Faust, but they pronounce it in Georgia as Faust. So yeah, but I think that if you can help in any way by spreading the message about his case, I don't think a lot of people know about it right now. One of the statistics that Melanie Little mentioned the other day in in the verdict stream, I think it was, that she did on the Faust trial, is that when the Karen Reed verdict was coming out, her chat was 60,000 people. And when the Faust verdict was coming out, it was like 5,000. And she's like, not enough people are listening. Not enough people. Like that man just got convicted of 12 counts, including sodomy, including sexual assault, including like intent with a deadly weapon, as well as like arson and murder. And he literally didn't know this woman. And that's proven. That's a proven fact. He didn't know this woman. At least
I saw that.
As far as I believe, it's a proven fact.
Yes, Colin Miller shared yesterday there is a defense appeal fund for Faust. It's the official appeal fund. It's a give, send, go. My favorite platform.
Give, send, go.
It's raised.
Have you been looking at all at the testify
No,
people?
I haven't. Should I look at it right now?
Yeah, go look it up.
One of my favorite fun things to do.
Yeah, you know what? This is a great point. This is one of the things that sold it for me that Foss wasn't guilty. Tara, the victim in the case, had a clump of hair in her hand, and it was from a white man, not a black man. And like what Allie in
Pretty
Texas
fucking
is saying,
definitive.
she said his hair, meaning Chris Melton's. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was the ex-boyfriend, and they were like, "Oh, well, here's a black man's DNA. Surely it was him." I mean, I think that was like, oh, DNA was found in Tara's mouth. Okay. The boyfriend was awful in the stand. Agreed. Let's see. Ex-boyfriend's DNA was found in and on the murder weapon. I mean, like this is a really pure example of the police focusing in on one suspect and then being blindsided, about
having blinders on.
Yeah, putting blinders on. Let's see.
Okay. So I want to hear a couple of comments from the House Defendants fundraising page.
Oh, yes, please.
Okay. Kate and Malls from Mother May, I talked about a documentary from the perspective of Jen McCabe. Yes, that's such a great idea.
Oh, God.
People say they haven't given in a while. They're giving again. So many like relatives on here. Happy birthday, Jen. It was Jen's birthday apparently 4 days ago. So Mondays seem to be the day where a lot of donations flood in.
Yeah.
It's a really fun pattern. It's like Mondays are like lots of donations. So I don't know if withdrawal day is Sunday or whatever. Happy birthday, Jen McCabe. You're a loyal friend. On and on and on. For Latimer and the witnesses, Kate Dowd. There are so many times. My favorite thing is seeing like people with the last names, McCabe and so forth, giving to the fund. Because I'm like, literally, these are your relatives. You could just give them the money. You don't have to do it on this website, which is just a public platform. Anyway, I love it. I sometimes I like to look. It's not like something I do very frequently anymore. Throw Karen's name right into the poop box, says Damn That Dallas. What's a poop box?
Wow. I don't know. Maybe a toilet? I don't know.
Your Marshfield cousins sending love, support, and strength. If you're their cousins, you could just give them the money.
Right. Right.
Anyway.
Yeah. Testify. Let's see. I think that we actually got through our list.
I can't believe it.
I know, me too. I keep meaning to, first of all, the Helena, watch Melanie's show she did yesterday. You'll get more info about the Foss case, Allie in Texas. I keep meaning to tell you about or talk to you about the Lucy Letby case. We're going to have to do that soon.
Yeah, I have a question because we're actually taping a Crime Writers on about that today because I watched the documentary.
Mm-hmm.
Why do people think she didn't do it? Can you explain that to me, like in a nutshell?
Didn't?
Yes.
Sure. That's a weird way to phrase that.
Documentary does not do a good job in any way explaining why people think she didn't do it. It's just like her. Her legal team came up with some arguments about the methods used to do the data analysis and stuff by the hospital to say she did do it. But there's not really a compelling. I'm not saying that I don't have an opinion, to be completely honest with you. I just don't. I haven't yet heard. But you see all the people, man, on the street stuff being like, she didn't do it. She didn't do it. She didn't do it. I'm like, why do folks think that?
It's because of the original doctor who wrote the report that the prosecution's expert used to say his opinions on the stand. The original doctor is saying that doctor, that expert, actually misinterpreted his article that he wrote. Okay. So basically, there's a part in the documentary where he says that her new attorney or her new barrister says, the guy who testified read a book. I don't want to talk to the guy who testified. I want to talk to the guy who wrote the book. So he goes back and he finds, I think it's Dr. Lee. I think that's his name. And basically Dr. Lee looks at this case and he's like, it sounds to me like an innocent woman is in prison. So they convene this, this panel of doctors and they start going through every single death that happened that Lucy Letby is accused of. And all the doctors on the panel are like, this is not how the baby died. The baby died this way.
Yeah. So they're saying so it's like there's no medical evidence to show malfeasance, right?
No, none, and also no eyewitnesses, and she never in her so the journals that they make such a big deal about, this circumstantial evidence saying that, I feel bad for everyone who hasn't watched the documentary or who doesn't know what
It's
I'm talking
wild. They
about.
have fucking AI people talking in the documentary, which is the
That's
wildest thing
wild.
I've ever
It's so
seen.
crazy. You know that Lindsay couldn't tell that they were AI, and the kids were like, "Mom, that look at her face, look at her hair. It's like she's a cartoon." But anyway, what we're talking about is Lucy Letby, who is the UK NICU nurse who has been charged with
Convicted of.
um and convicted of murdering babies who were in her care on the NICU unit. And she has received, I believe it is up to 15 whole life sentences, which in the UK, whole life means life without parole. And there is a very real possibility, because they have no actual physical evidence that she committed these crimes. There's a very real possibility that this woman is wrongfully convicted. They use her journals as a way to claim that that's like sort of the smoking gun. She's like, she's admitting to it right here. She did it. She was ordered by a therapist to write down her deepest, darkest thoughts about what was happening, because she was feeling so much strain and so much pressure.
Yeah.
And the NICU itself was under immense pressure because they were overloaded and they didn't have enough people on duty.
Right.
And they were actually downgraded because
Yes.
of their issues. So her therapist told her, you need to sit down and you need to write down all your darkest thoughts, get it all out on paper. It'll make you feel better. So she literally sat down and she wrote, "I hate myself. I did this on purpose. I killed these babies. I blah, 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 blah. Everyone hates me." But the context, it was taken out of context, because what they were showing to the jury was, it would just be, in bold saying, "I did this on purpose,"
Yeah.
and she was told to write those thoughts down. If you notice in the diaries, and this is one of the other reasons why I think that she didn't do this, there's no planning. She
Yeah.
never has anything written down like, today I'm going to go in and I am going to cut off the air supply, or I'm going to blow extra air into, or whatever, or I'm going to give this baby insulin that doesn't need insulin. So I think there's a lot there. And I think that there's a possibility that an innocent woman who was just trying to do her job and was overwhelmed is being convicted and serving time for murder. And I think it sucks.
I don't know. I think the documentary did not do a good job of making the counter case. I looked at the time, like 2/3 of it was it's a common format to have the first part of it be like the case against, and the second part of it be like why people think it's not true. Not an uncommon format, but it was definitely like 2/3, 1/3. And it's not just a question of time. It's that in the last third, they so focused on the Dr. Lee report and on statistics, and they didn't really bring in my opinion, the fact that like how is she physically accused of killing these babies? They never really make a case for that, and they never talk about that. So I just sort of left thinking, like, I don't know if she did it or not, but it seems like she was convicted on weak sauce stuff. And also, for those who haven't seen the investigation of Lucy Letby on Netflix, there are two people in the documentary. One of them is her good friend, and the other one is the mother of one of the babies. And they gave interviews on camera, and these people wanted to be anonymous. So instead of just like putting them in the dark or whatever, they changed their bodies and faces with AI. So you're looking at AI people talking, and they disclose it over and over again. But sometimes they're like, they have these little glitches, like you're watching The Matrix.
Oh yeah.
And it's so fucking deeply weird.
And also
it's so
the
deeply
background.
Weird.
Like the background of the AI. But the thing that I don't understand, they kept showing actual pictures of Lucy and her friend who was then AI. Did you notice that?
Yes.
Actual photographs. So like her face is in it.
It's sort of like in Law and Order when they have a victim and then they look at photographs on the wall and it's all like that actor's school photos from when they were a kid or whatever, or like a photo shoot they made them do before they shot the show of them in different outfits.
Yeah.
It was really deeply weird. It made me very unsettled about the future of documentary making.
It was very strange. Not just documentary making. There's also, I forget what director it is. He just made an entire movie that's all AI with actor voices, and it's awful.
Thank you, Sav. Oh, Sav. Oh my God, Sav, I haven't heard from you in so long. I love you so much. Longtime listener of Crime Writers On, has come to events, has worn the Toby's I Enjoy a Feud Among Subcultures t-shirts. I love Sav. She's well known to our listeners as the Crime Writers On most attractive listener. So hope you don't mind. Sav.
No, of course. And then Karma Dharma gave us $2 and I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Carrie's a talker. Carrie's a,
Really is
you
a
know,
talker.
Carrie, she's a talker.
God, the fact that Carrie has now seen Jen talking shit about her behind her back
Oh, yeah.
so many times and still continues to be this woman's best friend or whatever, the fake best
They
friend,
were
I don't know what they
both,
are.
they were at Peggy O'Keefe's house for a wildly long time the other day.
They just talk shit about her behind her back all the time. And
Yeah,
she's
they
been
do.
so I don't feel bad for Carrie per se, because I think that she kind of in my opinion, she appears to enjoy the attention she's now getting, and it's from people that probably didn't give her a lot of attention before.
Mhm.
But you do, I mean, it is like so many women in this case have become like the puppets of other people, including Jen
Mhm.
McCabe to some extent.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, Strange Credulity just became a member. Thanks,
Thank you.
love.
I'll
Appreciate
send you
that.
some stickers. Go to our channel page, fill out the form that's there, and tell me if you want the regular stickers, the old school stickers, which I have a few left of, the Dance Never Sees Eternity, or the limited edition February You're Hot, and
You're
I'll
hot.
allow it stickers. Or maybe I'll send all 4. Who knows? I might be
Do
feeling
it.
generous.
And I will, just so everybody knows, we've talked a lot about links. We've thrown out a lot of links in this episode. I'm going to put them all in the show notes so you know where to go. But the member spreadsheet is on our main YouTube page. So if you go into the About section, it's under one of the links. It's also on our Facebook group, which you should run over and join if you haven't already. And if you're here right now and you want to help us with our algorithm and getting us to 4,000 subscribers, because we were 20 away when we started this stream today, go ahead and like the video, share the video, do whatever you can to help us out. Rebecca, is there anything else that you wanted to talk about before we hop off here? I know you have to get out because you have something happening in the next like 25 minutes, but
Yeah, I got to go buy stamps too for this next round of stickers I'm sending. I'm definitely sending out, especially to you, Dakota girl. There's a lot that we didn't talk about. There is some sidebar stuff that I really would love to get into.
Yeah.
And I know we'll do that. And I'm looking forward to seeing you again. One thing I would love to hear from our listeners, so feel free to send us an email or hit us up on social media. What time do streams work for you?
Yeah.
Because we're still trying to figure that out. Sometimes we put up a video in the morning and it gets a lot of views later. Other times we put it up at night and like there's a lot of people there live, but then it doesn't get a lot of views later. So we're just trying to figure out what works best for this channel. And the best way to figure that out is to find out what you want. So feel free to ping me or Mel on social media. I'm Reb Lavoie. She's Mel Revision on Twitter. And you're also on other platforms as Mel the Writer. Is that right?
On other platforms like Instagram, which I don't really use Instagram very much, but Real Mel Barrett. But you know, Twitter's the best right now.
Yeah.
We had a little over 300 people in this stream today, which I think is a pretty good number.
We have an email address too, right? And that's on the YouTube page. People can send us an email.
Yep, somethingsoffpod@gmail. But all of our contact info is in almost every video I post, as well as in the description of the page. So yeah, so go check out Rebecca Lavoie's other work. She's been doing this for a long time. She's
I'm an OG.
bitch. She's an OG.
I'm a founding mother of podcasting.
That is true. Go listen to Crime Writers On and all of her other work, and go like my new show, which is called Newslight with Mel Barrett, if you want to, talk about politics in the news. I think I've decided I'm going to do it once a week. That was sort of the demand from the audience, because I was thinking about doing it every 2 weeks.
That's not
it's a
often enough.
lot. Yeah. No, I know, but it's also a lot to like coordinate guests and make sure that we have the right topics and all that stuff. But I think I'm going to probably try to do it every Wednesday. So I release the in-between podcast episodes on Tuesdays. I'll probably do the Newslight on Wednesdays, and we'll record here on Thursdays. It's the Monday schedule we're trying to figure out.
Yes.
So
yes.
We did the Monday one that I did this week. I did it at I think I did it at 4:00, which is what we were thinking about doing. And there were a lot of people in here. So that seems like a good time, but I don't know. We have a lot of West Coast listeners and viewers who are like, can you guys please not do it at the ass crack of dawn?
Yeah.
So yeah. Oh, Strange Credulity gave us $5 and said, unfortunately, Carrie has legit false memories because of the diabolical manipulation tactics of Jen McCabe.
Yes,
I would absolutely agree with that.
And I do think Jill Daniel believed her
Yeah.
brother-in-law had nothing to do with anything, because that's what she was told.
Mhm.
Otherwise, why would she come flying out of her car like a banshee and slam somebody's phone to the ground? That was wild.
Oh, this is interesting. I might hop over and watch that if that's happening right now. But Laura, is doing a video right now about the frat boys. I would I mean, if you can stomach it, everybody go and watch the whole frat boy video. It's disgusting. And I can't believe that these men are going to somehow be in charge someday of other people. And it scares me.
I see you, Doonies. I see you.
Doonies. Becky and Horn, nice sweatshirt, Mel, my former home. I'm wearing this sweatshirt, if everybody can see it, Rhode Island, because I've been thinking a lot about the sad mass shooting that happened at the hockey game. You know, we are parents of athletes, and I was a high school athlete myself, and I cannot imagine being in an arena or being in a gym on a field and just, you know, everyone's happy and they're watching their kids play, and then somebody walks in and starts shooting the place up. And
my
really
husband is a
it.
high school baseball umpire
Yeah.
and a middle school baseball umpire, and I just keep thinking about that, and it's very, very frightening.
Yeah, it's awful. It's terrifying. And
because
it's
he would be the one who'd be like, "You're out."
Yeah.
and that wouldn't work, and he would be shot. So because he's
and you were just telling me. Yeah, you were just telling me that Kevin really doesn't like to do like the travel baseball.
He hates travel baseball.
Yeah.
Okay, so Kevin does baseball. He does for you're not assigned to one thing. You can do everything. You're part of like an umpires league. They assign you to games. You can accept whatever games you want. He loves doing little kids. He loves what's that, Cal Ripken, like that age, and little league age. He likes junior varsity. He actually likes varsity a lot. He's just intimidated because the kids are so good and they're more likely to like know if he made a bad call. But like, he's actually very, very good umpire, and he's very earnest. The parents love him, the coaches love him, the kids love him. But he occasionally has done some adult games, which he will never do again, because those fuckers all believe that they lost their career and they should have been professional baseball players, and they're assholes. And he hates travel ball. Travel ball are these club leagues where you pay big money for your kid to play, and you drive up from Connecticut for a game in New Hampshire or whatever. And these parents believe their children deserve, just like the boy moms we were talking about earlier, their children deserve every opportunity to make their career happen in professional baseball. And these kids are like fucking 12. And it's like, just because you paid $1,000 to be here does not mean that that was not a strike, motherfucker. And so he has to deal with a lot of that kind of stuff. But Kevin wrote a law that was passed in New Hampshire 2 years ago, because he used to be a lobbyist, so he knows how to testify in legislature and stuff. And he wrote
Kevin was a lobbyist.
He was, when he worked in communications for one of his jobs. He was a registered lobbyist. And he wrote a law that he got a bunch of other state sports officials to sign on to and to testify for, that has enhanced criminal penalties for attacking physically an official at a game. And I don't believe in enhanced criminal penalties for anything. However, what the law actually says is that the parents can be banned from the sport like forever. And I'm like, that I like. I like that the parents can no longer come if they try to punch an umpire. Like, that should not be a thing.
It's really crazy. It's so crazy to me how seriously, I mean, but it's also because parents are spending a shit ton of money. Like, the amount of money for club sports. I mean, I was in club sports myself. I know my parents paid a ton of money for me to play. But I also I earned my spot. It was, and I think that what parents are told is you have to pay all this money to play club sports because it is basically the through line to college scholarships. Right, so we're going to get you in front of college coaches. And so, but the pressure on kids and the pressure on,
it's the parents, man. Parents believe they have all kinds of rights that they did not believe they had. My kids are in their 20s, and when my kids were in school, I was like, I 100% fucking trust that school to do whatever is necessary to have my kid get through that day. And like, if someone says my kid did something shitty, they probably did. And if somebody says my kid should read this, he probably should. Parents now are like, they have been indoctrinated to be insane, and in every aspect of parenting. And granted, it was happening somewhat when my kids were that age too, but it's gotten 10 gajillion times worse, and it's a real bummer. So that's why I used to host a parenting podcast with Slate. And one of the reasons I quit that show a few years ago, everybody still gives me shit for quitting it, is because parents were starting to send in questions where I wanted to yell at the parents for even having the fucking question. I'm like, that is a stupid question. That is none of your damn business. This is what I kept wanting to say. And I'm like, that's not helpful.
I have to read this comment from Becky that says, that's what's happening in hockey. The Advantage boys, bang, bang, just beat an opponent player bloody and left him in the locker room. An attorney at Harvard, coach of Advantage boys, is a Boston cop.
Nasty.
Anyway, Rebecca, Lavoy. I appreciate you. I am glad you are back and healthy and talkative and
Same.
like rosy cheeked and not like pale and about to fall face
Shiny of
forward into
hair.
your microphone. And because like all I could keep thinking when you started getting wide-eyed was I was like, wow, she really is into the story that I'm telling. And then I realized, nope, you're about to pass out. Can you imagine if you had passed out and I'm
I
over
heard the
here and
story. Dude, that would have been an incredible video that you could have made viral. That would have been great for our channel. You could have monetized the shit out of my passing out.
I just kept imagining it like you going face first and me being like, Kevin.
Oh, yeah, you did call
Uh,
him because I was
I
walking up
did.
the stairs and he was on the phone with you. So for those
I
of
was
you, we did a
worried.
members only stream, what, last week? Beginning of
Yeah.
last week? It's Monday of
Yeah.
last week. We did a members only stream and Mel was telling an incredible story about how she and her partner got together and it was an insane story. And as she was telling the story, I realized like, I'm not okay. I'm not okay. But I was like, I can muscle through. And right after that, I had something else to do. I was supposed to do something else that was
Oh,
actually
we
like
were supposed to
important.
do Emily's show. The two
That's
of
right. We're
us were
supposed to go to
supposed to do
Emily's. I'm sorry,
Emily's
Emily.
show,
I'm sorry, Emily.
the
I'm
friendly
spacing it.
wed game.
Yeah, and I was like, I can just make it. I can just pretend I'm okay and make it. And I realized all of a sudden, like, no, I
Yeah.
am going to pass out. This isn't like a
Yeah.
fantasy. Like, I am
Mhm.
going to pass out. So I said to Mel, I have to tell you something. And he said, what? And I said, I think I'm going to pass out. And you were like, go. And I did. And then I went and
Yeah.
passed out on the couch. It was
Yeah.
amazing.
I know.
So
That was nerve-wracking.
thank you all for your concerns, and I really appreciate your worries, and I will never take Dayquil again because apparently that combined with my horrible sinus issues makes me
Yep.
pass out. So, that's that.
Great. I'm just glad you're back and I'm glad that you are upright and that you're not, getting sick or about to pass out. So yeah, Rage Knitter said all the color left your face. It
I
absolutely
saw.
did.
I
You
watched
were
myself get
so
whiter and whiter.
yeah. Oh my God, that was scary. But we will go on Emily's show. We just have to reschedule that when we all have
Can't wait.
time. That'll be a lot of fun. And until next time, we love you. We are appreciative of you. Please go hit that like button, share, subscribe, do whatever you can do to help us out
Talk
with the
about our show on your
algorithm.
social media.
Yes, please. You can leave tips. And just a reminder, if you do leave us a tip, which is you can scan this QR code up at the top over there, or on the bottom of the screen, you'll see the Venmo and the Cash App. The only request I have is Miles King is out on bail.
Yes, I
Morrissey
know.
slot.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
he was in jail for like 4 fucking years, and then Rosemary's
I
Baby 2
know.
got him out. Yeah.
She's so amazing. If you see the Venmo at the bottom of the screen, that is my own personal Venmo that I share with a couple of different shows that I have. So just if you're going to send a tip, we really appreciate that. Just make sure you put something's offer SO in the description, or whatever other show you're watching, and so I can keep everything organized.
I trust you.
And thanks.
I think if it
I
comes
know,
in
I
now,
know.
it's probably for this show is what I'm thinking.
You would think that, but sometimes like something will come in like later today this hasn't happened in the past because I just started the other show. But people have been really good about, putting in the comments what it's for. And I don't know. I'm just happy to be here. I love you guys. I really love our audience and I'm hoping that we can get to 4,000 in the next day or so.
Yes. And then 5,
Yes.
and then 6, and then 7.
Don't
And
get too
then
crazy, Rebecca.
I have ambitions, man. I have
you
ambitions for
do.
this channel, and the audience is going to help us get there. And I appreciate you
Yes,
all
they
so
are.
much.
Yeah, we
Thank
love you guys.
you.
Thanks so much. All right.
Mwah, mwah, mwah.
We will see you very shortly. Bye,
Yeah.
Rebecca.
Bye,
Thanks, Rebecca.
Mel.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.